All right, folks, very warm welcome to this week's weekly analysis. Now, it's the 28th of August 2023. It's almost quarter past 6 in the morning, New York time, quarter past 11, Dublin, London, UK, Ireland sort of time. And we're just going to do a little run back. Probably do a wee recap of last week's and run it into this week's, for every weekly analysis, see how on point we are. Now, starting off, obviously, I'm going to mention the void. We know run up into it, and we started to break down. Now, the market, I'll just zoom in a little. The market worked out almost inch perfect or millimeter perfect, you want to put it that way, to what we thought would happen. So, market opened up Monday morning. I like to see it, it's run up here. I'd expect at least 50% close, but I went for the full range of the open to the previous week's low and closed in that volume bounce. Now I got a lovely sell trade up here almost to the pip. I do believe this one was 2988, was it? Yeah, 09288. That's fine. And the head of this one was 09299. So very, very little punch on through. Perfect sell and into what, as we spoke about, this weekly volume imbalance, right? Now, we took out these lows finally that we had been aiming for a while. Now, having a look at this, the market has spiked down and has not closed. Monday has opened up, started to close, if you could imagine this little volume imbalance. And we're going to let today run out. Again, it's Bank Holiday Monday here. Not that it affects us too much, but there's a lot of news out this week, so I'll explain that further on in the video. I do expect a good bit of movement this week. Now, should this find support in this fair value gap, which it is right now, I would minimum be aiming for the 50% this week or to fill in this little volume imbalance. This is the buy side liquidity I would be ultimately thinking of. All right. Now, if we start breaking that, we're going to start coming out, taking out this buy side, etc., etc. Big volume balance here. If not, if we break through this, start using it as a bit of resistance, then you're going to see these taken out. These could we see this big volume balance taken out? We got to wait and see. All right, we got a plan what we're going to do. Now I'll go down to the daily, see what we see, and see how it looks. All right, so straight off the bat, order block. All right, what do we do? Looks like we've come down, spiked into around 50% of this order block, got a rejection. Let me just move this. This little candle spiked down into this weekly volume bounce, got a good rejection, but again, we started to break down a little bit lower. Now, unless these dailies push beyond that and close beyond it, in my eyes, this little wick here, if we push down and close beyond the 50% of this wick, I feel like it's coming for these lows, and I'd be leaning more towards the sell side of things instead of taking out the buy side. But again, we're going to let that play out. Now, if zooming in a little, this daily pushes beyond the 50% of this wick and closes, then my light bulb goes on. I kind of start thinking, there's a lot of liquidity built up here. As messy as it is, there's a lot of liquidity built up here. I would like to start looking for buys, right? Is this the pullback? Is this the depth that the market has actually wanted to go before pushing on? Now, I believe it's going to use, let me see, this week's news, right? Now, today, again, a bank holiday Monday, nothing major. Consumer confidence, biggish. Non-farm payroll, all right, big. GDP, gross domestic produce, big. All right, so these are two big news on Wednesday. CPI, all right, usually big. Core price index, big. Initial jobs, big. Non-farm payrolls, big. Unemployment rate, big. We've got a lot of risky news coming out, right? Again, you're going to hear traders like, "Oh, I can trade the news." Yes, you probably can, mate. We are 50 pip stop loss. All right, we don't use 50 pip stop loss. We're going to be way more in tune than that. Our pips are ranging from 5 pips. Sorry, our stop loss are ranging from 5 pips to 12. So, with that being said, we have to keep an eye on news. All right, you want to be in before it and out, or you want to be in after it. All right, now. Having this weekly imbalance noted that it has been filled now, uh, you got to start looking at, again, which we noted, how the candles are reacting to this inverse fair value gap now. So, as I say, you had these lovely spikes, and we had this one finally broke through. This one came back up, broke down through, and it's using it as a resistance now. So, if it definitely did break above the weekly, and then we started to see daily pushes through this week and closing, maybe another spike down in, then I'm definitely going long. All right, and I think you should too. It's all about waiting, folks. It's all about a wee patient waiting game. You can't go rushing into Monday thinking what's going to happen right away. It's at that point of what is the market planning on doing? Is it going to start taking out the sell side, the buy side? You have to be just that little bit patient. Even if it's just a Monday, then sweet. What I'd like to see Tuesday is Tuesday to make a low and then start building up, like, change of characters and market structure on the bullish side, at least from the 15-minute on, before I start really thinking about throwing my cap into the ring, so to speak. Now, looking at the 4 hour, this was the weekly, by the way. We had a little breakdown through, a spike down in again, folks. This is to this order block you would have seen on the daily. All right, spike down in that, lovely rejection out. 4 hour, two spikes down in that, lovely rejection out. This is an important wick. All right, I don't want to see it go past the 50% of this wick and close. I just don't. It shouldn't do that anymore. If it does, again, shorts is what I'd be leaning towards. And my first true sign of possible longs is this swing high in the 4 hour made the swing low. This for a value gap, and look at the wick out of it also here, is important. All right, or inverse for value gaps. Say if we start breaking beyond that, all right, close beyond it, taking out this high, jam in it. Definitely, if it takes out this high, I'm looking for buys. Okay, now again, that's patience. You have to be willing to wait and see what the market's going to do. You can't just jump in, flip a coin, I'm going to buy, I'm going to sell. People's losing money today, folks. People's made money today, don't get me wrong. But Monday for us, and this is how I'd like everybody to trade, is especially when it's in that kind of retracement area. Why don't we just sit on it? Why don't we just sit and wait for a wee minute just to see what it's going to do? And again, we only need that one trade a week. We don't need to take 10 trades a week. We don't even need to take 5. One good trade a week will make you a very, very wealthy man or woman if you're just being a little bit more picky and using Monday as your way of analysing the market, a way of practicing, a way of asking questions. And on that note, the guys in the mentorship are starting to ask more and more questions and putting their trades out there and getting stuck in, and that's exactly how it should be. That's the lads are really getting stuck in, so well done to them. Well done even to the free side and the VIP side and the beginner side, because the more questions you ask, the more you learn. Now, there's only so far I can take certain levels of people before it goes into massive one-to-ones. Again, just a note on the mentorship, I've said like your one-to-ones last an hour. I think the shortest one I've had so far is 2 hours and 9 minutes or something. So once I get talking, folks, I'll probably never shut up about it, so I'm sure they're sick of listening to me already. But yes, we're starting to see a little bit of respect. This is an important week, all right? So note this now. Hopefully, this is up before, uh, within the hour, I suppose. And you're going to start seeing things like this, all right? So what's this doing? What's it finding? All right, but be aware, Monday manipulation is it just coming up to suck in buyers for possibly rolling out to take out the rest of the sell side, this line over here. It could be. All right, you got to be aware. Big volume bounces. Just give it time, sit on it, relax. You're in no rush. And I hope that's um, another wee quick look into the weekly analysis that'll help you plan your week ahead. Again, last week was to a T perfect. Like it did go beyond the 50%. We got an absolutely awesome pullback, filled in the whole volume and balance of what opened up from one week to the next. And the moment I done that, sorry, wrong time frame, double maybe 1 week. This came up, boom, lovely into the bottom end of this, and absolutely melted out. And we got some lovely trades. Got a couple of trades on the way up, and lovely trades on the way down. And remember, spiked into this daily order block now. Now, if it starts pushing beyond that, then chances are definitely high that this is where it's coming from. All right. So my two eyeballs on this week is obviously this sell side. All right. It's the most obvious, probably the easiest to reach too. You got to remember that. And we got this buy side. So this is what I got my eyes on this week. And because there's so much news out, it's going to shift. It is going to shift. The non-farm payrolls, CPI, core gross domestic produce, that's a good indication of how the economy's going. Unemployment rate, guys, big news. And for us intraday traders, tight stop loss traders, it's something we definitely have to take note of. If you're a swing trader, not so much, right? Swing trading is, massive stop losses that might not, probably more than likely not get topped out by news. Now, this is one thing I want to mention about news. It's vitally important. Just because, imagine the GDP came out that the US dollar, it should be strong. The economy's strong, the dollar's strong. That's still 50-50 for me. All right, and should be for you because there's more times than enough. It is indicated that brilliant news, the dollar should be super strong, and it goes completely opposite way. Why would it do that? Again, it's just going for liquidity. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the news is. Majority of the time, it just matters where liquidity lies and where it's going to hunt it. All right, it'll only use news to run into either for value gap, sell side, or buy side liquidity, or a big void, or something along them lines. All right. So don't use news as you're like, oh, we got good GDP. I'm going to start buying US dollar. That is not how it works. And you're more than welcome to test that out yourself. It happens more times than enough that it goes completely the opposite way than it should. All right. So I only use news to understand when I should be getting in and out of a market. All right. So enjoy, folks. We will get some lives tomorrow, and we'll see how the market goes. And have a brilliant week. Have a safe trading week, and God bless.